Want a cheap Android 10-incher? That tablet here is one of the most affordable such slates with a launch price hovering around the €250 mark. This is Daniel from Phone Arena presenting you the Acer Iconia Tab A3. For this kind of money, you're of course getting a very low pixel density display, a Hoham MediaTek processor and just 1GB of RAM, but all the other prerequisites of a decent tablet are present. The Iconia A3 sports a microSD card slot for memory expansion, a micro HDMI port for hooking it up to your TV. It has stereo speakers and a 5-megapixel rear camera that can do 1080p video. Will these be enough to overpower the unimpressive processor and screen resolution? Let's find out. Iconia Tab A3 is a pretty fine looking tablet. It doesn't stand out with premium chassis materials, as you can see, just matte white plastic. It feels soft to the touch, however, while the rounded corners and the tapered back make the tablet comfortable to hold. Acer's slate is on the thick side for today's standards at 0.4 inches, 10.2 millimeters, while the 20 ounces, 560 grams of weight, that's about as heavy as your average 10-incher in that respect. This silver trim around the sides imitates brushed metal, but it's made out of plastic. Most ports, buttons and slots are on the left, with only the volume rocker and one of the stereo speakers situated on the right. That volume rocker and the power lock key are pretty well situated, easy to feel and press, and offer good tactile feedback. The micro USB port on the left serves for file syncing and transfer, and also as a charging port with the supplied wall charger and micro USB cable. Overall, no qualms about the Acer Iconia A3 design. At that price at least, save for the fact that the micro SD card slot right here on the left isn't covered with any protection, which can lead to dust and dirt jamming the thin opening and its spring-loading mechanism. The deepest compromise Acer had to do to keep the Iconia A3 price low is the screen resolution. At 10.1 inches, the 1280 by 800 pixels return 149 ppi pixel density. So if you're looking at the tablet from normal viewing distance, you're able to tell each individual dot. The pixel density is not nearly enough for smooth text and icon edges, which appear jagged and pixelated. If you aren't spoiled by the high-res phone screens of late, and this is your first tablet though, the resolution might be enough for your modest needs, but not if you're a more discerning user. The resolution is only fine for watching HD movies, but in browsing, reading and even general app usage, the lack of screen detail is clearly visible. The display colors seem a bit pale, as the tablet could use some saturation bump. Black levels are deep enough for an LCD screen though, appearing only slightly grayish as you can see when the backlight shows through on a dark background. That same backlight seems to be of average strength, since the tablet is nothing to write home about in terms of peak brightness levels. Outdoors, the average brightness coupled with high screen reflectivity, as you can see, presents visibility issues. Since we have an IPS screen technology though, at least the viewing angles are pretty good, both the vertical and the horizontal ones. The Iconia Tab A3 runs Android 4.2 with roughly stock looks, although Acer has customized it with its own wallpaper, hand-picked weather widgets and a couple of homebrew apps for different services like Acer Cloud for instance. Another way Acer makes the tablet stand out is the new IntelliSpin technology for better screen rotation awareness. You can turn it on here from the settings, and you can make its icon appear in each and every screen you're using, so you can lock it or turn it back on. It is essentially a more sensitive accelerometer, so the screen will turn in the right direction at the right time, unlike some tablet displays that seem to be rotating with the slightest corner tilt. If you have the IntelliSpin icon in the lower right corner in the home screen, as you see, you can turn the functionality on and off easily. Acer also offers a couple of useful gestures as an alternative to your lock screen. You can turn them on from here. They're on right now. You can enable the 5-finger gesture or the 2-thumb gesture. We'll enable both of them. We'll tell it to skip the lock screen, and you can tell it what to do. The 5-finger gesture let's say we'll start the camera, and the actually it's the two thumb gesture. We'll set it up to start the browser, and you can give a home screen to go to. Let's say the New York Times. Okay. And here we go. If we lock the display and then use the 5-finger gesture, the tablet will go immediately into the camera application, which can be pretty handy at times. Well, not specifically on tablet. Or you can use the two thumb gesture when the screen is locked, of course. So when we remove them, the tablet will go directly into the browser and start the mobile New York Times page as we requested. Iconia A3 is powered by a modest 1.2 GHz MediaTek processor. With 4 weak-link Cortex A7 cores, this chipset is by no means powerful. But since we have such a low screen resolution, it seems to do the job. It doesn't seem bogged down in general tasks and swiping and scrolling throughout the interface. For 3D gaming at respectable frame rates, however, you'd have to look elsewhere. The tablet ships with 1 GB of RAM and 16 gigs of internal memory, of which 12 GB are user available. We also have a 32 GB version, and Acer provides a micro SD card slot, so you can add up to 64 GB more. Whether you use the stock Android Jelly Bean browser or the supplied Chrome, there is some lag and choppiness while scrolling or panning around, as you can see, though not the worst we've seen from this chipset. In addition, the low screen resolution makes text appear jagged with interrupted font lines when reading an article, for example. Acer offers an Iconia A3 version with cellular connectivity for €50 or dollars more than the regular Wi-Fi one, and you also get Bluetooth 4.0 with the tablet. As for wired connectivity, we already mentioned the micro HDMI slot here, which lets you hook the tablet to your TV with the respective cable. You can also change the output resolution from the settings. The stock Android gallery offers grid thumbnail preview of your photos and videos, along with built-in tools for picture editing that allows you to apply some nice color effects too. Acer provides separate photos, music and video apps for its cloud service as portals to the media you have uploaded via the Acer Cloud app or indexed on the tablet, but as you can see, these are mostly playback apps. You can't edit the photo in the Photos app of Acer. You can also not set equalizer presets in the Music app, whereas you can do it in the Google Play Music default one. And since the tablet supports Dolby Mobile Surround Sound, you just fire up the Dolby Equalizer preset, and you can adjust the S-curve manually with your finger or use one of the many equalizer presets. The two stereo speakers output is sufficiently strong, though the sound comes out relatively flat. You'll hear it now in a bit. Not a bad sound in terms of strength and fullness, but not the best we've heard as well. Thankfully, these are stereo speakers. Video playback with the tablet is stellar. This is an MKV file in 1080p resolution, and it's played without a hitch. Also, DivX XVD files are supported. It's a pretty bare bones stock video player, but the tablet supports every video file you throw at it, and up to 1080p resolutions at that. Acer cites up to 11 hours of video playback from the 3540 mAh pack in the Iconia A3, which is above average for an Android tablet. And we have to thank the unassuming screen resolution for that. The 5-megapixel camera on the Acer Iconia A3 isn't accompanied by a flash and is somewhat conspicuously placed at one corner of the slate. As you can see, you can pretty easily cover it with your finger when framing a shot, so you have to keep this in mind. The camera app sports a couple of scene presets, like Night, Sunset and Party. You also have panorama mode from the switch here. You can turn on the video recording from here. It goes with 1080p resolution and fluid 30 frames per second. The photo situation with the Iconia A3 is pretty average for tablet standards, with 5 megapixel pictures lacking some basic detail. Contrast areas appear bumped in a rather unnatural way, and the photos come out darker than reality. That's why we would advise to use the HDR mode, which lightens the shadows a bit, but detail is still much, and it takes a while to take an HDR photo compared with the normal one. Indoors, there's an inexcusable amount of noise, even with the overly short exposure times that the tablet does. The front-facing camera is also pretty bad, capturing copious amounts of noise indoors, where most video chat situations occur. The Acer Iconia Tab A3 is a well-balanced tablet for its modest price range. It is solidly built, not going too wowie with premium materials, but ergonomic enough to handle, and the chipset chosen is not a speed demon, but does the job fine, decoding every high-resolution video thrown at it. Our only major gripe is with the screen resolution, which looks rather aging on a 10-inch tablet this season. At first brush, for the current €220 or £200 price, there isn't much more we can demand from the Iconia A3, since this is a tech we used to associate with 7 or 8-inch slates. Thus, if you need a basic 10-inch tablet for media consumption or browsing, Acer's Iconia Tab A3 will generally do the trick without leaning on your wallet. Its main competitor, however, the Lenovo IdeaTab S6000, shares the same specs and price tag, but is thinner, a tad lighter, and with a much larger 6300 mAh battery, ensuring up to 9 hours of browsing. Last year's Asus MemoPad 301T with similar specs has now fallen to the sub €250 range too, and it sports a more powerful processor but an older Android version. This was a video review of the Acer Iconia Tab A3 from Phone Arena. For more information about this and other tablets, you can visit us at phonearena.com. Thanks for watching.